This is video 3 in the TRIRIGA Trees demo. In this video, we're going to continue from number 2, and we're going to look at utility invoices, certifications, surveys, opportunities, and setup. Utility invoices are the actual invoice records that you receive around your utilities, whether it's water, electricity, natural gas. Often these records come through an integration, through like a service bureau or maybe offline, but sometimes they are put in manually. So we'll look at an actual example that's manual. And you can see you have header information, and then you have a line item. And a line item is from a meter, so it's meter specific. Okay. So this meter had this reading, and then the meter service allocations. So it's possible to have one meter split between multiple location records. The next part is around certifications. Certifications may be something like LEED, BREEAM, or they may be an internal certification checklist. If we look at all the checklists that are outstanding now in the system, there are 4 that are environmental, and then there's one that's a store opening. So checklists aren't necessarily always environmental, but we're going to look at those. We've looked at Frankfurt quite a bit through the other 2 videos, so let's go ahead and use this one. They're doing a BREEAM certification. Okay, so the checklist has different categories, and as we can see here, we can break this down to categories, have line items. Energy, health, and well-being, and you get credits for different ones. So in the system now, we are shipping some of the certifications that are used around the world, but you can add others at your leisure. Let's go back and look at one, this LEED for EVOM. Okay, so here's an example of a LEED one, okay, and here's one that's already underway. Surveys are a way in the system, and it's common not just to environmental but throughout the system, is a way to send a request or a survey form to someone to fill in and evaluate performance. Next are opportunities. If you recall video 1, we had some KPIs around opportunities. So let's manage our opportunities. Okay. Those KPIs are coming from this data. So here we have 51 opportunities that have been found. Some of them are green initiatives. Let's go to Frankfurt. Okay. And we can see in Frankfurt that we have 3 opportunities. One is a deficiency, 2 are environmental. And if you recall in video 1, we were looking at Frankfurt specifically around opportunities. An opportunity record contains quite a bit of information. In this case, this opportunity is to do an improvement. We have a deficiency because the carpet has been stained. There's age, there's replace. We want to replace it. We have photograph, what location. This is going to become critical the next 2 years. And then we can have 1 or more solutions identified. And those solutions then, from that we can also have estimated cost. And we can have any assets or locations or specifications as well. So opportunity records can become pretty detailed. We can also create opportunities in bulk. We can group opportunities. There's also a functionality to analyze opportunities. So I can create an opportunity analysis record, and I can go through and associate opportunity records. And then based on that, I can actually create a funding request so that I queue up my opportunities into capital projects. Last but not least, let's look at some of the setup involved with this system. You have to have meters. Okay? We have energy regions. That varies by country, but you can break that down. Usually it's done by geography. If you're doing something like Energy Star, you can control the rating schedule and the settings around it. You also have the emissions factors. Now all the emissions factors, there's a standard set that is shipped, but you can alter those to suit your own needs. Okay, so as you can see, we have aviation gasoline and biodiesel. These are all fairly standard, but they can be updated. All right, and these are tied to a country and carbon calculation region, so that's why you can see there's 225 electricity records, because they're tied to different countries. Let's just go to the United States. And we'll cut this list down. We still have 80 because we have different carbon calculation regions. The same goes with travel usage, waste, global warming potential. These are things that we do have a standard set of factors that are shipped with the product, but they can be altered to meet your regional needs. There are also templates. We talked about identifying things like bleed and bream. And these checklist categories, checklist items, that's what drives that. We can integrate with other systems, and that's highly common with trees. As a matter of fact, it's very unusual not to have integrations because so much data comes from so many sources. And you have to track your weather stations and the data from your weather. Are you going to do things like with Energy Star? And then there's a series of analytics. This ends the series on TRIRIGA trees. I hope you found it interesting or at least informative.